All right. Today I will talk about an interesting aspect of Indian life, and it's kind of a negative thing, so we should just know. So basically, concept is Indian corporations, Indian companies are not true corporations or true companies. Like you hear the American corporations like Amazon, Meta, Google, Walmart, Kmart. You hear all this Dell, all these companies, right? HP. You hear all these companies, right? You hear so many companies. So basically my point is you can never compare these companies to Indian. You can never compare Indian companies to this company. Indian companies could be very prestigious companies who work for TCS, Infosys, you know, Tata, any company of Tata, any company of Birla, any company of Anand, this Sapna, yeah, Anand Adani, any company of Reliance. These are all Indian companies, right? Typical Indian corporations, right? These guys can never follow rules, and American companies follow all the rules. You, basically, that's the main point. Corporations, American corporations are true corporations, and they follow all the rules and laws and regulations. They do get strategic advantage by changing the law, but that's another story. That's a different story. But Indian corporations always bend the law. Each and every American Indian corporation would always do that. So they would violate labor laws, they would violate international laws, they will definitely violate finance laws. Yes, Adani was caught, right? He was caught Hindenburg report, right? Something right? So he was caught, right? Red-handed. That showed the entire money trail, that how he was adding money. All this is will be severely punished in America. The kind of thefts these the guys end up doing and the kind of things that they get away with wouldn't be possible in America, and if to get away with such a thing here. So these companies are not true companies. So there are few things to be taken away. There are few takeaways for this. One is, if you study, let's say on Amazon, for example, Amazon gives its drivers $30 an hour, and you basically, and they sometimes they are delivering like a pen which is just $5. So for one thing, you should never think that you can replicate their models, because these guys are very different companies, right? And I'll be using these things. Okay. Second thing is, in India, you need to be clever and extra chatur and downright criminal, or sometimes downright criminal, or an illegal kind of person, ready to do illegal kind of things, and may even be a goon, to be able to open these kind of companies. Yes. Yes. I have made a video that, don't you think Ambani would do, would be doing, definitely doing insider trading. They definitely do. All of these guys do insider trading. All of these guys violate labor laws. All of these guys violate copyright laws. In fact, this TCS was caught in America red-handed, and they were fined $950 million for violating the copyright laws. These guys just cannot follow the rules, right? So looking at these guys, first of all, you should not have any veneration for these companies, right? What does it mean? Should you not work for them? No, I didn't say that. I'm simply just don't have any respect for them. I never, yeah. But then, doesn't matter. This respecting doesn't matter. Should we be like them? Yeah, of course. Why not? Open a company like Reliance. Yeah, why not? If you can do it, sure, do it. That's not. That's actually. You're following the CSR principles by if you do all this. But I'm just simply saying that some of the applications are, many a time people try to replicate, learn from Indian models, Indian business models, and try to replicate that in America. That won't work, because American companies have their strategic advantage is not violation of labor laws. Their strategic advantage is not insider trading. Their strategic advantage is not some violation of finance laws. Their strategic advantage is not violation of any other laws. Their strategic advantage is something else. It's very hard for anybody to understand. So another corollary of this whole discussion is, you will notice that some of these companies spend like 20 to 25% of their money on IT. When all these big companies would be spending that kind of money on their IT, that's when you should think that India is actually truly progress. These companies are, representative of India's progress, right? But they are just simply commission agents. In some cases, they are just gatekeeper to India. They basically have a give and take a relationship with some American company, and that's how they're basically surviving. They're simply commission agents. They are basically commission agents for the entry to India, right? If a pharma company would be having a tie with an American company, and American company will use its technology, and they want to make a foray into India, they need a commission person to act as a middleman, and that person would be one of the politically connected families. All these companies, by the way, are politically connected also. All these companies, Indian companies. So all these American companies, they need a political connection, so that's why they tie with these companies. So I'm just giving you all these answers so that you understand what it takes to become big in America, in India, if at all. Okay, so we'll get to that. Political connections can take you really far in India, right? But you need to use them wisely. You need to be wise. You need to be able to use them. It's a bit of a skill. It's actually a lot of skill. So first you have to acquire these political connections, then you have to maintain those, and then you have to capitalize on this. It can be quite tough. But whatever it is, but let me tell you, TCS, for example, is actually used to indulge in criminal activity back in 90s, back in early 2000s, when they were, even now they may be doing it. They had a 3-year bond they had the violation of labor laws. They had a 3-year bond with the candidate, with all the employees, IT engineers. And if they go to America, I signed that bond too, to be very honest. So I'm a first-hand witness of that. Yes, it's a criminal thing. How they implemented that whole bond in America, how they handled that, I'm not sure, but I know that once some other company was caught and they were supposed to tell everybody that this bond is not valid. So how was TCS doing it? So all this is, no, they don't find hacks. They simply just do it because they probably came under Indian laws. And in India, there is no law. In India, there is no law. So in India, when someone still left and violated the bond, TCS people sent goons to that person's office. Yeah, I've heard first-hand stories. It didn't happen with me because I didn't violate. I finished my 3 years and gave the resignation and went to work for another company. But I've seen guys who left left TCS within 3 years, and they sent goons at their place to intimidate them. Yes, this is TCS. This is how TCS became big. This is how all these companies become big. They would not be shy. They definitely control underworld also. They definitely control crime also, and they will not be shy to send the goons to your place also, right? So so I'm just saying these are some of the things about India, that maybe these things permeate through the culture and they manifest themselves in certain ways, and you may not be able to like it. The people who go back to India, maybe these are the things they don't like. Who knows what's going on? But these are the things you should know about Indian corporations. Indian corporations are basically criminals. They're criminals. They're every day they violate laws in connivance with the politicians, and that's what they do. That's the only thing they do. There is really no business strategy. They don't have to deal with all these things, and they don't have to deal with all these things. They just basically they just are all like criminals basically. That's the reason. Okay, tell me one thing. In America, you see salaries for people like me and you who migrate to America. I'm again telling you one thing, it's very 0.01%, and not everybody makes it. It's 1.1 in 10,000 who will be making so big. And I've told time and time again, 9,999 are just living a middle man's lifestyle. So I'm not glamorizing American life, but there is a possibility that in America, that's the reason people probably come, because they can become Sundar Pichai. Possibly they can become Sundar Pichai one day. The kind of money these guys get paid, like $30 million, $200 million in stocks and in cash combined. Sometimes, like this guy, that Agarwal, the guy who was Twitter's CEO, who was let go by Elon Musk, he gave him $65 million as a severance package. Show me in India, any company any CEO being paid $65 million when he's sacked. Labor law violations. I'm sure they basically violate all. I don't know what happens, but the day this happens, then you should know that okay, Indian corporations are proper corporations. The day it does not happen, till the day it does not happen, you should practically assume that all Indian corporations are shitty companies. They don't follow any law. They don't need you. That's the reason you come to America. Many people come to America. Again, they make a lot of mistakes. If they stay in India, they can make it big. Even earning 1 crore in India is a lot of money. Then earning 3 crores here. I've told you so many times they're making mistakes, but that's the reason they come. That's what you should know. They simply come because of this. Right? These Indian companies, they basically criminal organizations or enterprises. That's why in India, if you learn all these, maths, engineering, MBA from IIM, you really don't get to use all these skills. You're really going to have to use all these skills because these, at the end of the day, these are run by goons, right? And they deploy these methods. And this is one reason I couldn't do really well in India also because I needed to be a goon, I needed to be a criminal before I could do. And I saw a lot of people just understand that language. If you cannot speak that language, you will not grow big. For 8 years, I tried to open up. I had my back office in India, so that pretty much my entire company. It was pretty much my entire company. I mean, I'll tell you what happened. Basically, it's very difficult. It's very difficult. So in India, it is very difficult to grow, to raise. It may be very easy to grow. I'm not talking about all that. I'm simply just saying that it's very difficult to learn anything about the world. It's not proper exposure to the enterprises and the corporations. American companies, the exposure, those give you really good exposure. That is the true companies. Those are the true companies. Even a $500 million revenue company would be better, more like it will be having better culture. It will be a true corporation in comparison to TCS, which is probably one of the biggest companies in India. So this is something that you should know. Not many kids know that. Kids come out of the engineering college, they think that TCS, Infosys, they are the benchmarks for the excellence. Not really, and they try to, learn, and they learn the business models from them. MBAs from IIM, go to all these companies like, let's say Tata companies and Birla companies and Adani's companies, and they think that they are learning something very special. No, that is not how. That's not true knowledge. That's not the knowledge If you went to IIM Ahmedabad and you're going to Adani's company and learning something, that's of no use to you. That's the reason, these professionals don't get paid as much, like $3 million, $20 million. I think the highest paid CEO in India is just 8 crores or something. Here, 8 crore is the salary of regular engineers sometimes in some of these companies, Amazon and all. There may be a lot of people who are making $1 million salary. So and the CEOs who are basically let's say who are in charge of steering the company through all this and basically making it profitable and all that, they basically sometimes get paid 100 million, 150 million, $200 million a year. Yeah, they get paid a lot. So that guy who got sacked, right? He got corporate so much money. So these kind of numbers till the time. So few things which will tell you that these are true corporations. One is if they start giving their CEO salaries like $100 million. Second one is if Harvard, Wharton and Stanford grads are working, MBA grads are working there. Second. Third one is their IT budget is 20 to 25% of their total revenue. That's when you will know. Till that time, you should practically assume that these guys are basically Lala companies. So this is another word. They are Lala companies run by criminals and indulging in criminal activities only. And for any situation, their whole idea is to handle it using criminal ways. They all have political backing, criminal backing. They all have this kind of backing. They all use these means. If they find any issues in the labor, they will use these methods. If they find any issues in the finance, they will use these methods, criminal methods. They will definitely deploy goons also. And they will definitely do all kinds of illegal activities like insider trading and everything. They will always do that. And that is a strategic advantage, that they have political connections. They can get away with anything and they can get out of anything. It is not a great place to learn the international business, the way international corporations work. Well, definitely. Well, sometimes it doesn't matter. Sometimes it matters. I'm not saying it matters a lot. Sometimes it matters. Sometimes it doesn't matter. But what will you gain by learning all this? If you get paid, let's say $400,000, $500,000 in San Francisco, you can barely raise a family. So what do the people get by knowing all this? So that's another debatable point. And I keep saying that in America you get, but this is one big difference between Indian corporations and American corporations. All right. I just wanted to say that I don't know the implications. I'm not saying there are any implications or there is a point around implications. I'm simply saying that this is the difference between Indian corporations and American corporations. And one implication is you cannot learn anything about the international business. All right, guys. Thank you.